Good morning, everyone. It's Patty in the AM. Today is, it's June 24th, 2024. It's funny because I almost thought it was the 1st. That's why I'm a little off today. It's okay because, as we're all very aware of, there is no time. All points meet in space simultaneously. There just is no time. So this morning, I wanted to lead off with, as we've been having a history of beginning with an orange thought, whatever I've posted for the day. And today, when we may change in the oncoming weeks, I'm not really sure. We'll just kind of see how it goes each week. And so here we have what you have. Oops, I'm sorry, it just faded for a second. It says, what you have and where you are today are the results of all the choices and decisions you have made. Many of your choices have been passive, made without conscious examination. Many have been based on your past programming rather than on your new, unlimited thinking. You can begin now to make more conscious, aware choices. Acknowledge that where you are today is a result of your past choices, and realize that at every moment you are truly creating your reality. If you are not happy with what you have created so far, you can learn to make different choices and change your life into one that brings you joy, aliveness, and whatever else you want. It's funny, I look back, and when I read these every week with all of you, I'm reminded that years ago, if somebody had told me something like that, I would have been, that's ridiculous. I don't believe you. It'd just be with something I couldn't even fathom was true until I look at my younger self and understand that, and see that same feeling in others sometimes. But I am here to prove that it's true. You can change anything you want in your life anytime you want. I did a post yesterday, and it was titled The Gypsy, and not so much I think of like a gypsy as being like, not, just living off of other people. It's just that there's something in some of us that just can't seem to, just doesn't feel at home. I think that was something very true of myself. I never felt at home, so it led me in many different directions, always kind of looking for what felt right for me, what fit me. Kind of like the Goldilocks and the Three Bears, she was looking, trying different chairs and, the different beds and the different porridges. And, it's not that at those different times in my life I wasn't making money. I was still making money like everyone else. It's just that I was just trying different things, seeing what worked best for me. And it's funny, when I read on Elon Musk about how he still couch surfs. He really doesn't couch surfers, like a couch surfer, that type of moment. But he, doesn't have a significant home that he would call, this is my house. He stays at other people's houses. And to me, that just made all the sense in the world, because it makes him so he can be flexible and not have to be there to maintain one home while he's off doing many things at once. It's very interesting. I think that there's more and more people who are okay with that. Do we, really need a home structure base? I mean, you might want it if you're raising children or not. It just depends on your situation, but it is funny when you think about it, because I was listening to somebody, because I've been listening to the near-death experiences lately. I find them interesting. I find them to be pretty relatable to when you get up into a high state. I'm not talking just meditation. I'm talking like a high state of consciousness, when you do see that spark of white light and you watch your soul going to it. You see the strand. As I've seen it, it's for me, some people say it's like a silver strand. Mine appeared white. I don't know. But it's like you see it going up into the ethereal, and you don't even, it's like an unlimited reach. You don't even see where it ends up. But you're still connected. Anyways, back to the thought. But it's like, it reminds us that even like our homes can be taken away. Like, say something, if you worked your whole life to have your home, if you lose your job and can't keep up with the mortgage, or can't keep up with, look at the the real estate taxes, and can't keep up with it, you won't have a home. So you've worked your whole life to have something that you no longer have. Maybe you're renting now, or maybe you're living with friends, But I feel that experience is to show you that it's okay. It's just there to show you that, to not try and hold on so dearly to something that you wouldn't be able to just let go of. And, that's another choice. It's another pathway we can take. Because if we think of all the different choices we've made, just as our Oren quote, or passage came about today for me, every choice is continuously bringing us to where we are right now, right now, right now. And we have it within us, a power so great that we can be anything, be anywhere, do anything we want. But one of the biggest things that holds us back is ourselves. It's the ability to just let go of anything we have. Years ago, I went with a friend, one of my girlfriends, we just on a whim, let's go to this weekend class. It was just a couple hours each day. It wasn't like a whole weekend event, but it was years ago. And I remember learning something to tell myself. We created a phrase together with the instructor and myself. She was just 4 of us in the class. It was a very small class, which is nice because it gives you a lot of one-on-one time. It keeps it comfortable. But mine was, I now release all things that no longer serve my higher purpose to allow in what now serves my higher purpose. And it was weird. Even in the moment I was saying that, I'm a pretty deep person, as most of you who know me especially, or listen to my thoughts. I'm pretty deep. I'm not a very superficial person, very grounded. But I knew in the moment I said it, that could make a lot of changes in my life. That means when you're ready to let go of anything that's not serving your higher purpose is not concerned with the people that you might lose in your life, the job you have, the home you have, the pets you have. When you tell yourself something like that, it's kind of a courageous thing to do because you're surrendering. You're knowing that maybe if I let go, it's going to allow in things that not only serve my higher purpose, but help me serve others. And I can tell you, that was a drastic change in my life. That was at a time within the next year where I would have that first experience of illuminating into that bright white light with the golden halo, the one that illuminated the whole room, and the guy couldn't look at the light. It was pretty bright. It would lead me to also go and seek out, just more an expanded belief, more expanded in myself. I would have more experiences after that, experiences that I was just like, wow. As I want to get back to the NDEs, the experiences I was having were what some people are experiencing in NDEs, and I see it now as bridging a consciousness for me. So that's kind of like my pathway, but back to other pathways. One of the pathways I hold near and dear to my heart is the way we take care of ourselves. Years ago, think on it, when we're younger, parents, they... or even if it's just one parent. I know I was basically raised with just the one parent situation, but they're always trying to suggest the idea of eating a little bit better, But, we're so, I don't know, we just think that we're going to live forever and always be so healthy. So it took me a little time because I didn't know that I wasn't eating as well as I could. I was eating, things that we were raised with, maybe, like white pasta and, sauce and, maybe hamburger mixed in with it. And I never knew that back then that white pasta was not good for us, So, of course, now in this last 30 years, I do whole grain pasta. I definitely don't mix it with hamburger, except for on occasion because it's a childhood memory. But, yeah, they don't digest well together. But, so, about back to the diet part, I don't want to say diet, because even diet, words have a way of triggering us. If it's been a hard struggle for us, whether we were too thin or too heavy, and we always had to struggle with the word diet, and what it meant to us, we might want to find a better way of suggesting that to ourselves, maybe just being better balance. But I learned through my children of the experiences they went through with having stomach problems or whatever it might be, and the suggestion of someone else teaching me about pH balance 30 years ago, that wow, we can heal ourselves by changing what we eat. Not only changing what we eat, our thoughts have to change along with it too. We can't go against ourselves thinking, oh, I'm going to put all these healthy things in my body, but I'm never going to get healthy. We can't say that out loud. But we can tell ourselves, as we're putting these better products in our body, but what are these better products? I've been listening to different people. They do these different powdered shake things, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, as many of you know, I've talked about it. I do, raw milk. I don't. If you look into raw milk, I know people get scared of it, but I'm the testament of truth that 30 years now, I've been fine. I've never had any problems with it. But it's comes from generations of the farmers before that. That's what they did. They drank raw milk. It's like, I don't know why it's become such a atrocity. I mean, for people to drink raw milk. And if you know anything about raw milk, you might be witnessing, like I am, the people who sell raw milk legally are running out, because that many more people are now drinking raw milk because they're learning the benefits of it. The benefits of raw milk. It's a whole food. You can actually live on raw milk. But, it is a choice. So, it's okay if we keep choosing to take medication to heal us. It's okay if we, still keep drinking alcohol. It's okay if we still choose to take pills. It's okay if we still choose to take powdered, drinks and whatever we choose. But it is all a choice. And it does lead us all on different pathways. Recently, it was about, almost 4 years ago now, I was rear-ended in a motor vehicle, and it caused a compression fracture in my T789. And to me, I was just like, I had no idea. I didn't understand why my back swelled up like it did. Why was I having such a hard time breathing? I couldn't walk a long distance anymore. Hills were like crazy. I couldn't watch TV. I still can't watch TV. It still gives me a headache. But I didn't know how bad it was. I've never really been hurt like that. I've never even been, to be in a car accident. I don't know. It's been, I've never had a real serious accident where I went to the doctor. Well, maybe I did, when I was 19. Okay. But, that's a long time ago. I didn't know that. I just thought I was going to heal. I really did. And the more I tried to do anything, whether it was even picking up the dog, it was ridiculous. I just couldn't do it. It would make my back hurt so bad and just swell up so much, and just the pain, it was crazy. But, what I didn't know is, in going to the doctors, they finally did an MRI. I also had it's like a groin tear that I probably got a couple of years before doing strenuous exercises out in the backyard, as far as trying to move rocks and things like that. I felt it when I did it, but anyways, there was a tear in my groin, which is right where your inguinal is. And so that was also, so the two conjoined together were causing a lot of problems in me, and that's why I wasn't healing. It's like the compression fracture exacerbated the groin tear, which, I didn't know I actually had a tear, which is right where your inguinal is. That's your main hub, which is going to cause you, to circulation and things like that, But, I was still moving around fine. It wasn't until I had the accident. It probably, even though I wasn't happy that the person rear-ended us, but, if I look back at it, she, in a sense, probably helped me, because it helped me see I had the groin tear. But, I tried going to doctors and all that stuff, and there wasn't any great way to fix me. The tear itself, they said that I would need to just keep doing stretches and exercises. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I've been doing, I've been doing stretches and exercise. I'm like the yoga guru every morning, but I had to stop doing that. I tried to explain to him, I've always been a very physical person. There's been I was able to pick up my daughter up until before the accident and be able to just pick her up in my arms off the couch. I mean, and she's like 5'7" and maybe 100 and whatever, not overly, but I mean, that strong without even like thinking about it. I've always been strong like that. So, I did go the medical avenues, but there wasn't any real assistance. I mean, I ended up going to a Ralpher, who, if you've never been and you have any kind of aches in you, they help you align your body. They're like, they see your body as a whole, so they're not just working on one issue, and they manipulate your nervous system and your muscles, so they can kind of, let's put it this way, they can breathe free again, and that helped immensely. And the other thing I've been doing is applying the castor oil packs. That's something I knew about, I don't know, 20 years ago. And so I started applying that principle when I realized that the Ralphing was also helping. Because the tear itself, I was told by 3 different orthopedics that they will not fix it unless you're 25 years old and an athlete. I was amazed by that, but maybe it's just as well. Because, if you have surgeries, they cause scarring, as many of us know by now, and that can lead to things growing and attaching onto another. So that's another journey of mine. But through that journey, it's, it teaches you to go with your own instincts, go with what has worked for you in the past. I have been to see a Ralpher. I went back in, I think it was 2012. And that helped me immensely for some other things I had going on in my body. It's a good baseline to help you see that even though you think you feel good, you could feel a lot better. And the healthy way of eating, it's so funny how we really don't know how good we can feel until we make a choice to try and put better things in our body. My friend Kenny, who we were together for a few years ago, we're still really close. I was helping him see, we were working on eating different things and eating better, and I know he already had that ingrained in him. They were raised on raw milk themselves from having farming and such like that. But I realized too, you can't push people to want to make better choices. They have to want to make those choices for themselves. But it's nice when we can assist someone in seeing those choices. Sometimes, at least it gives you a baseline, so you can now know, just like my kids. My kids will tell you that they don't eat like mom does, or, maybe they try, maybe they've gotten better over the years, but, because when I was raising them, I definitely did the pH balance with them. We didn't have any soda in the house or anything like that. But, so maybe just because they don't eat as well as mom does. Sorry, this is the dog bumping into it. Because he wants me to rub his belly while we're talking. But anyways, so just because they might not always adhere to the same guidelines that mom does, it doesn't mean they don't know how to. Meaning that if they don't feel well, they stay away from sugary products. They eat, vegetables. They get really into their vegetables and like eggs and whole grain rice, whole grain brown rice, not white rice, not things. And a good way to know what's whole grain or not, if it just says brown rice, is look at the grams of fiber. If it's 2 grams of fiber, it's probably not whole grain. You want to see something with a lot higher, maybe even 4 grams. I believe the minimum is like 4 grams of fiber. I'm not the expert though. I am not a nutritionist. I'm the experience. I'm like the proof in the pudding that the way I maintain my physical being, it definitely works for me. And so it is. It's all about choices and pathways. So if you wanted to make a choice and start trying to drink raw milk and see if it works for you, you have a choice. If you want to stop, drinking alcohol, it's just a choice. And the other post I did today is, Alice, sorry. He almost fell off his chair. It was a post I had done several years ago, and I do love the thought that came to me, because it was one of those, like a channeled thought that kind of came to me. If you're ever done any kind of channeling, you'll know that when you receive a high message, it's beautiful and loving, and it doesn't make anyone bad, or, it doesn't single anyone out. It's usually a kind of rhetorical, actually, statement, just so you'll contemplate something. But I'm going to read it to you because I always love this. It's, if you ask the Lord, am I beautiful, special, and loved beyond measure? The Lord would respond, how? The Lord would respond, you cannot be anything other than what I am. So I don't care if your pathway has been a lot of changes, whether they've been up, down. It's just all part of your journey. And each and every moment, not only each and every day, each and every moment we have a choice that we can make. And no choice is good or bad. It's all based on your soul and how it evolves. And sometimes it's watching other souls grow and evolve. How many have we watched and we've probably thought, gosh, I wish they'd do better for themselves. I wish they'd stop taking those pills. I wish they would stop drinking. I wish they would. I wish they would. I wish they would. I wish they would. But their journey is none of our business. If we choose to be around them, that is a choice. Our best to do for anyone when we're in the observation mode is to, that means, we're just watching a movie. We're watching them, and we wish they could do better for themselves. Let's imagine them doing better for themselves in their own time. All will come in their own time to whatever they're supposed to reach, whatever pathway they're supposed to cross. And we all get there. All pathways will get you there. There's not one that's right or wrong. Each one will take you there. And it's just because we have to know one to know the other. Think on even taking painkillers. If you've had an experience of maybe being addicted to painkillers, and then you learn that, wow, this is not the way, this is making my body lose its muscle mass. It's making my body not go to the bathroom. It's because that's what it does. It affects your nervous system and your muscles. It might take away the pain, but it doesn't do good for the body. But you have to go through that and stop taking them and see how much better, how your body heals after you stop taking them, to know the two parts. And life is that way. And that's why we have many choices, because we need to know all parts to see it as a whole. It's the choices. But so the reason I wanted to share that post with you, or the thought I had channeled, written, however you might want to express it, is because no matter what you've experienced in life, you're still beautiful. Your soul illuminates. Your soul is just glowing. It's just that if you could really see it, you would probably break down and cry. There's a thought out there, but it's really true. I've had moments where I've witnessed it myself. I still remember it was a nerve injury. I had injured myself, not in a car accident. It was just at home. But anyways, it injured my ulnar nerve, so I had to have surgery. And so I had to have this big apparatus on my arm to make, I had to go through, the, what is it called? I don't know, I can't think of the word. But anyways, you go through a lot of therapy to get it working, and there's a lot of mechanisms to even get your fingers working right and things like that. But I got in the shower once because I was having a hard time really connecting myself to my arm to get it working again. It's almost like when we have an injury, we separate ourselves from it. We don't know that we're doing that. We do that even if we've had a bad injury, like maybe we go into a coma, or like we've had a burn victim, or whatever. We actually separate ourselves. We go into a higher state because it's too painful to be in the body and feel it and feel everybody's emotions. But so in this situation, I didn't know that I was causing my own long-term healing. It was taking a long time to heal because I wasn't connecting myself. I wasn't really attaching myself to my arm. But anyways, I got in the shower and I wrapped my whole arm up because you can't get your arm wet. That was always a process. The saran wrap, you're wrapping it and wrapping it and wrapping it, and then you got to hold it up, so you don't get anything wet, But it was the weirdest experience. You close your eyes, and it's interesting. The shower, the water. If I don't know how many of you experienced this yet, and probably even more so now when you're in the shower and you close your eyes. Sometimes you do receive messages, or you do get spontaneous ideas, or you do see light, or you'll have all different experiences. Not all the time. Sometimes you're thinking too much, so you're not allowing it in. But at this moment, I don't know how it happened, but in my higher state somehow kicked in, and I could see two of me. One was my pure light body. It was glowing white. And it was in perfection. There was not one injury in it. Not any from this life, no scars, no nothing from little injuries you get as a kid, or little broken bones, or whatever it might be from falls or trips or whatever it might be. And then there was the other part of me that had the injury. And it was just it was a deep moment for me to really see, like, wow, connect myself, put myself together. And it was after that moment I healed so much more quickly. I had to stop seeing myself as the injury and see myself as a whole. In other words, like if you've ever seen yourself as a victim, when you can step back and see yourself as a whole and see that you are so strong within your core that you can heal anything, that makes you step away from the victim mode and be your stronger, I guess you could call imperial self, your soul. Your soul, when it's all together and you can join yourself together and be in your soul body with your body, it's unlimited. There's nothing in this world that you cannot do. Heal, nothing. But it's all a choice. Think about the choices we make. Think about those choices we make wholeheartedly. Back to the choices, right? Some things we want, maybe we don't want them as much as we think we do. Think about the times we've had maybe an injury, and it keeps our husband or our loved one coming over to see us every day to help take care of us. Or maybe it is a way that we know unconsciously to be loved and cared for. Maybe we had a lot of injuries as a kid, and we know that has been like a suggested feeling that gets us attention. So it's not something we consciously do, but sometimes it can be that too, that maybe the healing takes longer because it gets attention from others. So it's all choices. It's all, the idea of, think about choices and how they affect our soul grouping. Those people who are close to us. It doesn't actually have to be blood relatives, but those people that we know, yep, they came in our soul grouping because I feel very connected to them, whether it's not in the best way, sometimes it's the worst way, but boy, have they taught us a lot. And I laugh because once you go through things like that, you can kind of look back and say, oh, that's what they were teaching me. But anyways, it's not, I don't mean to laugh at anyone. I'm laughing at myself because, the journey I've taken, it does allow me that space to kind of laugh because it is just a journey. Don't be so attached to it, but do acknowledge it's yours. Do get the wisdom. Do be responsible for it. It's up to you to make choices. But sometimes those choices are for the grouping of the whole soul group. Think about a soul group. So think about if we've lost anyone as a child, how it affects the whole grouping of the soul. If that person who we've lost, or I shouldn't say lost, but has passed on to the heavenly realm, and say they were somebody that brought a lot of light to that soul grouping, and now they're gone, that person, it's not that they didn't make right or wrong choices. They probably made a pact, all right, at age 13 or age 12, I'm going to pass, and it's going to affect my whole soul grouping, but it's going to make you all search for light, this light that I brought to the family or to the friends or the grouping, this light that I always brought to everyone. It's going to help us when something's gone like that. It makes us, even if we go through like darkness, anger, or whatever it may be, it's an empty space that we need to learn to fill. It's because we're missing that light that someone used to once bring. And so, but that light is also in us, but we can't fill something until we know it's missing. And so sometimes that's the beginning of that kind of journey, to realize, oh, we made a pact. it's not a bad thing that they left. They kind of said, like, yeah, let's do this. This will work, and if it doesn't work this time, we'll come back. We'll switch the characters around, or maybe the storyline, and maybe it'll work that way. No one's worried about it. There is no time. Remember that. There is no time. All points in space meet simultaneously. Maybe one of these sessions we'll talk about, the many different dimensions and how everything's always happening at once. But it's just an idea. If it's something, you never know what could come up in these sessions. But that is all I have for today. If there's any questions you have about whatever I've talked about, or something you'd like to talk about in the upcoming sessions, please feel free to send me a message. I'm here. I'm always willing to listen. But I do ask one question. I do want one thing from you. I don't usually want things. I always suggest that people ask questions in the front page on Facebook, or give me permission if they've messaged me on the side to express that, but do it anonymously. It just allows, I've found every single time, yes. When one person has a question or an idea, they do it for the whole classroom. There's other ones that still have that same feeling, and they might want to know about it too, and you might make them chime in eventually. Okay, so I'm signing off to the day. I love you all. Have a wonderful day, and I love all the choices. I love all my choices. It's all a choice.